I'm Abeer. I am 29 years old and I am from St. Paul, Minnesota. I came to do Midwest Charity Trials because I think I'm in a place in my life where I'm just saying yes to things and I need to experience new things and I want to create new brain cells. So I think trying new things is going to help with that. And then the charity I'm playing for is the Bond Between, which is one of the Midwest's largest animal rescues, and they provide a lot of very special programs to animals and their families that just don't exist otherwise. So I'm specifically playing for their respite foster program, which helps keep animals and their families together during times of temporary crisis, like housing insecurity, domestic violence, incarceration, things like that, which I think is really special because shelters and rescues are at unprecedented levels of crowding. And I think a lot of people know a lot of animals are not getting the love they need, so trying to keep families together I think is really lovely. And that's what I'm playing for. I'm a Survivor super fan. I don't know if I'm going to tell everyone how much of a fan I am, but I am a huge fan. And I'm coming out to do it because I've always made the assumption that while I think I have the social and the smarts for the game, I don't know that I always commit myself to being uncomfortable. And so I would like to commit myself to being uncomfortable and like going with something all the way and not chickening out and like having a goal and really pursuing it. So that's what I want to work on as part of this and just see where I land. I think in general the Legacy Trials is not a one-for-one with Survivor in terms of, how advantages and voting and even, conversations between teams will all play out. I also appreciate that the Legacy Trials set pretty clear standards for like what is appropriate gameplay, because I think in some of these other games people really push the limits, whereas here I think we have some clear boundaries about things we can and cannot do. And this is also for charity, so I'm not trying to play like an excessively slimy game anyway, so I'm appreciative of that. And I think I really love that this is an opportunity to meet people, especially across Minnesota, but I know there's also some out-of-towners, and doing it for causes that we all care about in the region. At the social right now, I am trying to really play it very gentle. I'm not trying to suss out people's allegiances or what their vibes are. And I came into this knowing that I very strongly connect with very specific types of people. And I think in a game like this, it's going to be important that I go out and actually seek the people I'm not naturally gravitating towards. So what I've been doing is just spending time with everyone individually. I'm also trying not to look too social or too connected with any one individual because I don't want that to be spotted so early. I did spend a little too much time talking to James. I clocked that earlier and I was like, I gotta keep going and make my rounds. So I like everyone so far. Like nobody's sus or anything, but my goal is to not lock in with anything too quickly. Normally, I think like a lot of people, I do gravitate towards people who have similarities with me, so like similar ages, genders, backgrounds, that kind of stuff. And so it's really important to me that I do spend time with people who are different age groups, different backgrounds, and that's just the reality. I think you connect over, maybe we went to the same, high school in the same region or same city or whatever. So I'm looking for those intentional, like I have no idea what goes on in West Virginia. Tell me about it. Like let's talk about it. Hoping to make those types of connections. At the Legacy Trials, I'm just looking forward to doing new things. I'm really excited for the challenges. I feel like adults just like don't get to play a lot, and I don't do any recreational sports. Maybe I should. So I'm really excited for just challenges and some fun. I am not excited for the porta potty. Let it be known.
My name is An. I am 38 years old and my hometown is Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm what they call a solutions engineer. Basically, it's just somebody who demos software. Yeah, the organization that I'm playing for is an organization, a nonprofit called Reclaim, and they provide mental health services to trans youth and to the trans community, especially in this day and age where I feel like a lot of trans rights are getting taken away. Just giving back to be able to support this marginalized group is just really critical. People see me as a nice guy. I have a lot of energy. I can be very happy, but beneath that happiness, I can be very cutthroat. And so I love to keep people close to me, use my happiness, my niceness, my kindness as a strategy, and then backstab them later in the game. I'm not nervous about anybody, but I vibe with people who have the same energy as I do. but I'm also looking for people who I can manipulate as well. So I find like I can manipulate the shyer people in the game. So I'm trying to observe who's not talking as much, try to get their trust, and then kind of do a 180 and then later. If you got it, flaunt it. Honestly, just enjoy who you are, be authentic, just live your life being proud of, being here and enjoying the moment as it is.
I'm Ashlee, I'm 33 years old. I currently live in Edina, Minnesota. For my career, I work at the University of Minnesota, managing the Campus Recreation Center. I also teach yoga on the side, and I'm just super pumped to be here. I'm excited to compete and to get to know all these great people out here. I'm playing for a charity called Her Next Play. They're local to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and they work to keep youth girls involved in sports. So a lot of girls drop out of sports by the time they reach high school, and so this organization just encourages them to stay involved, to gain those leadership skills. So they do a lot of work with local organizations around the Twin Cities metro. I'm sure we'll get pushed to our edge physically, mentally. I don't know, sleeping outside without a tent isn't the most exciting thing in the world to me, but we're gonna make it through. I'm just excited. I'm excited to get to know all these people out here. This seemed like a really great crew, and it's gonna be a beautiful weekend. So thank you, Mother Nature, for treating us well. Hopefully it's not too hot. I think for me, it's coming out and finding some alliances to begin with, some people that I feel like I can connect to, that I can trust, and just really playing with people who kind of complement my strengths. So not finding somebody who's exactly like me, but somebody who's maybe got a different style than me or different strengths, and kind of working together to get as far as we can. The team stage, just working, really encouraging our team to work together and work closely together and get to know each other and support each other and try to win as many challenges as we can. It's exciting to be able to get to compete on behalf of somebody else or another organization. I participated in sports a lot as a youth. It was a really big part of my life. It still is. I coached for 10 plus years after I finished school. And so to be able to give back in that way is really fun, and just to get to experience this and have it impact something bigger than just me.
I'm Brendan. I'm 34. I'm from Shannon, Minnesota. Currently reside in St. Louis Park. So I am playing for Minnesota breast cancer. It is something that's breast cancer is something that's hit my family very closely, so it's something I'm very passionate about. My grandma, she had breast cancer, and it was a contributing factor to her passing away years ago. And then my mom, she also was diagnosed with breast cancer. She's currently doing well, but it's obviously something that's been very impactful on our family. I also have a sister, so that's something that down the line can also impact her. So just kind of the women in my family and just the fact that it has impacted me greatly. I love Survivor. I love these types of events. I have done both volunteering and played in these types of games in the past. Just kind of from my experience of doing volunteering and playing in games, I played in a big game, a weekend-long game 6 years ago, and just kind of knowing the impact that those have just kind of on your life, not really just for the weekend, but kind of just really for the rest of your life, just kind of the bonds and just opportunities that it presents. That's kind of what drew me back to this one, because I think this is a new charity event that, kind of being a part of it from the beginning and kind of really making an impact. I really want to see just kind of how I'm excited to be a part of how the legacy trials and Midwest charity trials separates themselves, and just kind of different ways of just, kind of competing and building social bonds, and just seeing kind of what this game does that kind of can differ from my past experiences, because I think just kind of new opportunities kind of really excite me, and just kind of, being able to challenge myself that way. Yeah, I do like, I think, Drea seems like she's got a really nice, calm vibe. So I really like her. James, I think is his name. Those are two that have really kind of stuck out to me as well. And I think Jeana, she kind of seems like she knows kind of a lot of this stuff, but also I don't think she's really done this before. So I think she could kind of be a best of both worlds, where she's kind of inexperienced, but also I think she knows a lot of this kind of the game stuff. I'm most excited to kind of just get rolling and just kind of have just things thrown my way. I'm someone that kind of just in my personal life, I do kind of really thrive off of kind of a fast pace and kind of improvising and just kind of thinking on your feet. So I think a game like this can really kind of create those opportunities. So just kind of having anything like that thrown at me, I always love challenges, just because you just really have a chance to just really compete and kind of test yourself. There's a lot of stuff, like I said, I watch these shows on TV, and there's a lot of times I look at stuff, I'm like, I don't think I could do that at all. But now this kind of gives you the opportunity to kind of prove yourself wrong. So I'm really excited for that too.
Hey, I'm Dave Turner. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, 54 years old, photographer. My charity is Autism Society of Minnesota, or Minnesota Autism Society, and specifically a program they have called Camp Hand in Hand. It's basically a camp, summer camp, and we have a friend whose daughter goes there, and it's a really cool organization. My first plan is to try not get voted out right away. So that's my big fear, is getting voted out really early. I want to play the game. I want to feel the game, feel the rhythm of the game. So if I get voted off way later, that's cool. I'll roll with that. But getting voted out early is really going to be a huge bummer. So I'm going to try to be as friendly as possible, as helpful as possible, and just try to make it so nobody wants to vote me out. I'm going to try to play a little hard in the beginning, so maybe give myself some advantages, but I don't want to come on too strong right away. So I'm also going to be really open to the vibe of the people I'm playing with too, and take what they give me and back off when I need to, and try to be cool with them. This is pushing me way out of my comfort zone. This is kind of a big deal for me to get out here and put myself out like this and talk to a lot of strangers, and it was one of my goals this year to do more things like that. So.
Hi, my name's Drea. I'm 22 years old. I work at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, where I am a lifeguard at Volcano Bay. And I am playing for the Colorectal Cancer Alliance in honor of my uncle who I lost to colon cancer back in 2020. I love this organization. They focus on helping the caretakers of the patients with colorectal cancer. And, I just think that they full spectrum, take you through each step of the process. It is obviously a very difficult process for someone with colon cancer. So I don't know what I would have done without that support. So that's why I'm here playing for them. I'm super excited to compete in the first season of the Legacy Trials. It's been heavily awaited for a few months now. It's definitely something that's way out of my comfort zone, but I feel a lot better being able to talk to, the other contestants at, the social and everything. So I think it's going to be a great experience to just meet some incredible people that all have the same values of making the world a better place. This is a game that I want to get far in, but also I think making sure that everyone else feels like they're listened to and heard, and that someone has their back is more important than backstabbing. So I guess my strategy would be to make sure that people are listened to and try to get as far as I can, whether I can win physical challenges or if I don't. I think that my social game and speaking, it will carry me pretty far. This is something that I've never done before, but being from Florida, being in Minnesota now, I'm kind of learning to love this space and love the nature here. So again, just being able to be unplugged, I think meeting people and staying true to myself is also pretty big in playing something like this, but I'm huge in environmental stuff, so just being able to be out unplugged from the chaos that's going on in the world is kind of an opportunity that you don't get very often in days like these. So I think just as an individual moving through this world, you feel kind of small, but I think when you do something like this, it gives you the opportunity to feel like you can make a difference, and I have lived by that for a long time. It's my mantra is be the change you want to see. So I think it's very fulfilling to be able to come here and play for an organization that helps so many people, and I mean me in particular. So it's fulfilling. I would say that's the biggest word that comes to my head, is that it gives you a purpose beyond what you could think that you would have just living day to day.
My name is Drew. I'm 3 years old, and I'm about to turn another magic age in November, so I'll just let you guess. I'm from the state of West Virginia, and if you know anything about West Virginia, I can show you that, I don't mean to be lewd, but you have to do it this way. Let's see if I can do it with my hand. Wait a minute, here, how do I do that? Like this. This is the state of West Virginia, and I mean no disrespect to my state, because we have a hump here, so you have to, this is our northern panhandle, our eastern. I live down here, so anyway, very proud to be a West Virginian. Anyway, I am really happy to be here. I'm playing for a charity called SOAR West Virginia, which is Solutions Oriented Addiction Recovery. West Virginia is a state that's been really extremely affected by the opioid crisis, but it's really meaningful to me that I'm playing this game in Minnesota, in the immediate Minneapolis area, because May 25th, 2020, which was the day George Floyd was killed, is also the day that my son got some bad stuff on the street and we lost him. And for a news junkie like me, someone who always follows the news, not to know the name of George Floyd or that the whole world had exploded for 3 weeks says a lot, because my world had exploded. And so, once you lose a kid, you can't do anything else for them, but I can do things like this. And, and I want to do what I can to, I don't mean to sound more noble or heroic, because I'm not. I mean, I'm just a parent who, is hurting and wants to avoid that for other people. And SOAR West Virginia is a great program which promotes naloxone education and distribution. And if someone had Narcan with my son and had administered it to him, he would not have passed. So it's an important thing to me and very close to my heart. I do have 4 other kids. I have 8 grandkids. I've got a great wife waiting at home for me who puts up with my survivor addiction. And I am excited about playing and winning, hopefully, at least making the jury. But if you don't play to win, there's no reason to play. One of the things, I'm a camp guy. I counsel a high school age camp every summer. In fact, it's a camp that I went to as a kid, and I started counseling just as soon as I could. And so I've been through that experience, and it's always struck me when I meet people in these games, and they'll talk about how unique it is to be in this crucible type experience and make these connections. And I'm wondering, gosh, have you never gone to a camp, or have you never done anything like that before? And some of them, I guess, haven't, because at camps we play crazy games, which are like a lot like the challenges and things like that too. But the truth of the matter is the difference in the survivor type games is you really are building friendships, because you're in this really tight, pressure filled situation and you have to work together, but you're also deceiving each other. And so it's not just a physical game. It's not just an intellectual game or a strategic game. It's very much a social game. But I mean, there's just really no way to come away from it, I don't think, without building bridges that, in my experience, have always lasted significantly after the game. I'm looking forward to doing the best I can to earn as much as I can for my charity. Absolutely, 100%. I'm really blown away by how generous people have been already. I'm so grateful for that. Beyond that, I'm definitely looking forward to the social connections more than anything else, because again, I know those are going to last beyond the game. It's one thing to say this is a game. It is a game. It is a game, and if I don't meet my goals, then it's not going to be the end of the world. However, in the short run, it'll feel like it maybe. So I am, again, definitely looking forward to doing as well as I can in the challenges, especially the physical challenges. I hate to confess this, but my knees aren't quite what they used to be. But most of all, contributing to my team in the first instance, and then to my own game as it becomes individual, and then again to my charity.
Hi, my name is Jake. I am 21 years old, and I live in Iowa City. I go to school there as well. I'm a student currently, studying public health, and I'm currently working as a summer custodian there. I am playing for the ALS Association in the Legacy Trials, and I picked the Legacy Trials because Jonathan Penner is a big inspiration for me. He's one of my favorite Survivor players ever, and I just think his story is very touching, and that he's just a very caring and empathetic person, and I think he's someone that when I watched Survivor that I always looked up to, and just how he handled his wife Stacy when she was battling ALS, I thought he just like went above and beyond with like being with her all the time, and just I feel like it's very inspirational, and it means a lot to me. So that's why I chose the ALS Association. I feel like I'm like overanalyzing all the like little things of like making sure that I'm like making good first impressions with everybody. I think that I am. I think that I'll fit in well. I would be surprised if I went out early. I think it would take something going very wrong, cut to something going very wrong now. But yeah, I think that it'll go well for me. I have high hopes. I'm coming to this weekend with 2 goals in mind: to have fun and to win. And I will do literally anything it takes to get to that. I will slit everyone's throat. I will lie, deceive, backstab, and do whatever it takes to win this thing. I can already see myself at the finale party winning this thing at the end of the weekend, and I'm so excited for when that happens.
My name's James. I'm 31, and I'm from Minnetonka, and I do real estate for a living. So my cause is the Animal Humane Society. The reason why I'm playing for it is because I feel like they offer a lot of benefits to people who possibly can't afford or have affordable care for their pets, animals, and then they service the entire country, especially Minnesota. My initial strategy, I feel like I can't give too much away, but at the same time, I think it's just to play a quiet game, be smart about things, and obviously look in between the lines, and we don't.
My name is Jeana Biskins. I'm 38 years old. I'm from Waconia, Minnesota, and I am an accountant. The cause I'm playing for is Special Olympics of Minnesota. I have an older brother named Dan who has Down syndrome, and he's been participating in the Special Olympics since he was a little kid. Since I'm younger than him, so since I can remember, I always thought he was like a little Olympian, and I'm so proud of him, and they give so many opportunities to people with special needs to be able to experience fun events and activities. I'm kind of a people person, so I can kind of get in with groups, I guess, and kind of meld myself to be able to talk to people and get along with people, so I think maybe the group conversation piece is going to be what gets me. Everybody's really outgoing, and it's going to be a good battle, I think, with the personalities, so a lot of big standouts so far.
Hi, I'm Justin. I'm 24 years old, and I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. A, I just really like Survivor. I want to see how well I do at it. And B, obviously charity. I'm playing for communities and schools. Right now I'm a graduate teaching assistant, so I essentially just teach college English. But before that, I was a tutor and a classroom assistant at a local elementary school. So I saw a lot of kids that maybe like didn't have just like the basic, just bare necessity items to just feel like a person. Like I had a student who had like cracked glasses, and he had to like kind of like, you know, jerry rig like duct tape them back together, and they were kind of crooked on his face with like a crack going down the side, right? Some kids didn't have shoes. Some of them, like their shirts were like, you know, not really fitting them anymore. So I'm playing for communities and schools because they give kids those items. So I'm hoping to fundraise a lot for them, and yeah, that's why I'm out here, and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm excited to play the Legacy Trials because, I mean, in general, I just like strategy games. I especially like elimination games. There's something fun about the fact that it's like you can just see the numbers dwindle time after time. Yeah, it's just really fascinating to me. And then in terms of the Legacy Trials, I like how there's like seems to be like new spins and twists on the game. Like obviously like we have something where like players can come back, which is something that isn't usually having to you're not having to strategize around that, and like everyone knows that people are coming back. We also have a couple of other things like elimination duels. I've never heard of that before. Like, you know, if you have a split vote and then you just have to like basically like joust against somebody to see who goes home, like that's insane. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool elements about the Legacy Trials that I'm really excited to just see how they go. Yeah, very experimental. I mean, honestly, I was just looking at maybe like general elements of the game and just like how I could position myself to move the furthest. So honestly, I wanted to prepare, but I didn't want to over prepare. I feel as though sometimes people can psych themselves out when you read too many books about, right, like how to influence people, how to manipulate, how to get people on your side, right? Like sometimes I feel as though like some of that is kind of intuitive, and then you just need a couple of like key pointers. So I watched a couple of TED Talks, you know, just about, you know, talking to people. Yes, I watch TED Talks. I do it for fun too. And then I also watch a lot of like RHAP, which I do anyways, a lot of know-it-alls. So right, every single time that elimination happens, I'm making sure to listen to know-it-alls, getting their take on, right, how should you have positioned yourself better to get out of that spot? How could you have made it so that you weren't in that spot to begin with? And in general, I was just watching a lot of seasons of both Survivor Survivor and Big Brother, just really looking for what are the general patterns in terms of people who tend to get eliminated and how can I avoid those patterns. I like Jake a lot, so I'm definitely looking to partner with him. I also like Drew. Someone else I was looking at, what's the guy with like the chains? I forget, James, I think. I like James as well. I also like Ashlee, and I haven't really had that much interaction with her, but I'm also really feeling Shannon. So those are some people like off first, like impressions that I'm looking to, you know, maybe start something with, probably go deep with. And then in terms of people that like I can't really get a read on, like dude, Santiago, every time I try to talk to him, I feel like he's just stonewalling me. So like I don't really know if that's just how he is or if he does not rock with the kids. So we're gonna keep chipping away at it. But right now the vibes are high because, you know, no one's in danger, everybody's excited, but we'll see how that changes tonight and or tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to honestly just strategizing with people and seeing what kind of moves we can pull off to get ourselves further in the game. I'm always constantly looking for like ingenuity, right, new workarounds, so I'm very curious how we can use these new game elements and pair them with like new social strategies and tactics, or maybe existing ones, to make something new and see what we can pull off. So I'm really just here to experiment, and I'm really just excited to see what I'm able to see by the end of this little test, I guess you could say. A trial, dare I say.
I'm Karen. I'm 29 years old. I live in Maple Grove, Minnesota, and I'm an internal auditor at a United Health Group. And my cause is I am raising charity for women's advocates. It's a domestic violence shelter in St. Paul, Minnesota that houses women and children that are survivor victims of domestic violence. My initial strategy is I know I'm not going to be a physically dominant player. I'm also not going to be the provider of the tribe. If you told me to find berries or mushrooms out here, I would not be able to do that. I'm going to tell you guys, I've never told anyone else, I've only spent one night camping outside. I've only slept outside one time. I think I was 8 years old. It was in my friend's backyard, but I don't want anyone else to know that because I don't want that to be my dynamic. There's so many people in the world that don't sleep inside a house, and through the course of history that have it, so I know I'm going to be fine for a few days. So that's definitely pushing outside my comfort zone. So with that being said, I'm not going to be a physical dominant player, I'm not going to be a provider. My goal is just going to be someone who people feel like they can trust, and someone that other people can feel like they can connect with. You know, I really want to be able to have at least some sort of connection with everyone that I meet. I've read through their bios, have little index cards of people, and I want to at least have one connection. I connect with everyone, so I'm going to really be trying to lean into a social strategy. This is very different than what I normally do. You know, I was sitting in my cubicle Monday through Wednesday of this week, had to do some work this morning, so I think my item would just be to stay adaptable, stay flexible. I don't want to stay connected to any one strategy, one person, one plan. I want to keep it dynamic and just have it be an adventure, try something that I would never otherwise do. So,
my name is Lydia Clinton. I'm 27 years old. I'm from Apple Valley, Minnesota, and for work I'm a special ed para at my alma mater, my former elementary school, Greenleaf Go Gators, and that's pretty much it. It's important for me to come here and play for Project Purple because my grandpa Jack died from pancreatic cancer, and my friend Erin, her mom Dawn, just got recently diagnosed, and I'm just trying to, you know, do a little bit of good and get to play one of these games that I think I'm probably uniquely skilled at, and I don't think there's many people out there who would be willing to do something as psychotic as this with as little notice and little details as I have, so just ready to run it. My strategy going into this game is to just adapt. You can't do anything other than that. Everything about a game like this just depends on the other people that I'm working with, and so if they don't like me, I'm gonna go first. If I can weasel my way in there, I'm taking it to the top, and I'm not gonna stop. And I hate that rhymes.
Hi, I'm Megan. I am 57, according to the sheet that makes me the oldest woman by about 15 years, so I feel like I have something to prove for all of us. I have 5 kids. I live pretty close to here. I'm a fitness instructor, a yoga teacher, and a Parkinson's exercise specialist. My charity is Rock Steady Boxing, which is a high-intensity exercise program for people with Parkinson's. It's a 90-minute class that meets 3 times a week, and it is hard, It is sweaty, it is difficult, and when people come in to observe, they can't believe that the people that are boxing have Parkinson's. So there's a correlation between intense exercise and a decrease in Parkinson's symptoms, which is the science behind the program. It started as a single gym in Indianapolis, and it is now over 900 chapters in the entire world. Almost every country, or almost every continent has a Rocksteady Boxing. So in our program, we work on the boxing becomes the high-intensity exercise portion of the program, and then we work on speed, hand-eye coordination, agility. People with Parkinson's lose their ability to project their voice, so we work on that while we're boxing with yelling and chanting and some cheers that different boxers will lead. And we work on balance, pretty much everything that you can think of that Parkinson's tries to take, we try to make sure we're giving back and building up. I have a childhood friend from my neighborhood that I grew up with and actually dated for a couple years, but we stayed friends. And when he was in his mid-40s, I could tell that something was wrong. He was kind of just wasting away and didn't look good. And I asked him what was up. He told me he had young onset Parkinson's disease. And I didn't know anything about it. And his name is Bill. If you see this, hey Bill, changed my life. And a couple years later, the opposite thing started happening where I saw him sort of climbing out of that rut. He looked young again, he looked strong, he looked happy. And I said, what is going on? And he said, I found this program called Rocksteady Boxing. So I got on a plane and I flew out to the San Francisco Bay Area. At that point, I'd been a personal trainer for about 13 years, and I was getting a little frustrated with perfectly healthy, able-bodied people saying, I hate this, and I hate this. And I wanted to do a little bit more with my career and my knowledge. So I flew to San Francisco, I watched his program, I watched the people come in, maybe a little quiet with their tremors on, and I watched them all walk out with their chins up and their chests out, and the tremors were all reduced, and I just said, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And a month later, I flew to Indianapolis to get trained, and that was in May of 2017. So I've worked passionately with the program. I run the program here in Monticello, which isn't too far from here, and it's literally not only life-changing, but life-saving. I know what I know about Survivor, and I see the similarities, but I'm not quite sure how this will be different. I'm just excited to prove something to myself. I'm excited to prove something to older women to show that we can still do things like this. And I'm excited to prove to my 5 kids that I'm still a badass. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to backstab anyone. I don't want to look anyone in the eyeball and cold-heartedly lie to them. So I want to maintain my integrity through the whole process. I say that now. You can check with me again in a few days.
My name is Philip Paradise. I am from Denver, Colorado. I'm 35, and I am a business insights manager, so lots of spreadsheets and PowerPoints. So I am playing for the MS Society. My sister was diagnosed with MS about 15-ish years ago, and I have seen what MS does to someone's body, and so I'm playing for the MS Society to help to find a cure for the people. I know that I come on strong in challenges and things like that. I like to lead, and I know that I need to take a step back. I want to lead, and you're going to see me end up leading, and I'm going to fight myself the entire time. But my strategy, my plan, is to take a step back. What will actually happen is I won't take a step back, and I will stay out front. So, of course, I studied everyone's pictures. I, looked at them and I thought, what is this personality based on the pictures and the facts that they have given? And I'm now matching up those pre-assumptions to their faces and their names. And honestly, they all lined up with what I imagined. I do have a few people that I'm getting a good vibe on. I don't think there's anyone that I'm not getting a good vibe on. We're still in that, nice to meet you, hello, basics of everything. So I'm interested to see where it goes with these people, but so far, positive. I am a well-rounded person. I am athletic, I can do puzzles, I can socialize, I can strategize. I can do it all. The question is, will they allow me to do it all?
Hey, what's up? My name is Santiago. I am 43 years old from Austin, Texas. I'm going to be playing for the Central Texas Little Dog Rescue. They are a small foster rescue for dogs in Austin, Texas. 2 of my dogs were adopted from there, and they are very special to my heart. I kind of wanted to do like my passion for Survivor and my passion for dogs in kind of one, and it kind of worked out with the legacy trials and charity trials to apply, and that's what brought me here. So I changed my name. I'm going to be going by Santiago, not Santi, for the weekend. I also if you guys have noticed, I'm wearing long sleeves because I'm covered in tattoos. I'm gonna have that later. And then these glasses are actually fake because somebody told me that I look less suspicious when I wear glasses. I do wear glasses, but these are fake because I can't afford to get them messed up. So I'm looking at ways to kind of really downplay my threat level because I'm a very strategic player. And sometimes players can read that when I'm just kind of sitting there like processing what's going on. So anything that I can do to make myself seem like a lower threat level player is what I've been doing. I'm really curious about the Hexel and currency system. I love a good currency system in any kind of game, and so I'm curious on how that's going to play into things. And then I'm honestly curious about the Forge because I was reading that and I've read it a couple times. It doesn't sound like tribal council. So to speak, in Survivor. It seems more like, and I could be completely wrong about this, but it seems more like a group discussion and then we vote. So if that's the case, we're looking at like traders level, like deliberations, and that's gonna be really cool because I can thrive in those situations and really drive a narrative one way if I put my mind to it. So that's one of the big things I'm looking forward to. And really freaking testing myself to see how far I can go. Okay, so during the social period, I really, and we're getting to know each other. I honestly can't remember everybody's names. We've been turning our water bottles around because it has our names on them. I really like Dre's vibe. They seem like a really cool person to work with. Right now, honestly, like Megan is on my radar high up the list because she has remembered our names. She remembers one random fact about us. And she said she peeked at that this morning, but the way that she's popping off facts really quickly about, oh, you have 9 siblings. Oh, you went to the Appalachian Mountains, I think she said about somebody. So my antenna is up on her already. I really want to get to know Drew because Drew and I have a ton of mutual friends and we've never interacted. We were really good the last 8 months about not interacting with each other, so being able to finally be able to speak to him is going to be so much fun for me. So Dre and Drew are the 2 people that I really kind of am vibing with right now. I'm really looking forward to winning. That is my goal. I joked with Chad about a sleeping bag. I was like, I won't need a sleeping bag all weekend because I don't plan to need one. But I'm also looking forward to with these people. I thrive in chaos, so the most amount of chaos that I can create and kind of navigate through it is going to be a lot of fun. So you're going to catch me lying a lot for no reason at all, and then just kind of making up stories on top of that. I might lie about my age some more. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. I don't know what version of me you guys are going to get this weekend, so that's also what I'm excited about, to see kind of what player version you're going to get.
So my name is Sasha Almendinger. I am 41 years old. I am from Bemidji, Minnesota. Yes, some people call it Bemidji, and I am an educational consultant. So my cause is the Headwaters Humane Society, and both of my pups at home, Opan and Felix, the most adorable, wonderful dogs in the whole universe, we got them from there, my husband and I, and they both have like some pretty rugged backgrounds, so just anything that can be put towards helping places like that just makes those poor little pups' lives better, and then also enriches the families that get to keep them. I got an acronym it. It's ABSCABNABAB. So always be breathing, scheming, and never count on anything. I don't know if I can say it, is Jeff Probst around, but you've got to dig!
Hello, my name is Shannon. I am 42. I'm from Shakopee, Minnesota. I am a stay-home mom for 16 years. I volunteer all my time at the school and spend tons of time driving my kids from A to B. Sometimes have to have a job of Mama Bear Get You There. And I am playing for the reason of type 1 diabetes. My brother, growing up, had type 1 diabetes. And it's been a struggle for our family for years. And a year ago this May, my son was developed with type 1 diabetes. And so I'm doing it for him and my brother, and we are going to show that family don't fight alone. And that's why I'm here. And I'm the last one to be interviewed, so that is my strategy, because I'm going to be last to save for best. Best of luck.